Hello and welcome to Feed Me Something, the show where our passports are Australian but our wallets are citizens of the world. I'm Sam Phillips. That's Ryan Hammy Goodman. Hammy, how are you?
Sam, I'm very well. How are you travelling?
Good, man. Why was that so?
I don't know.
What was that?
I thought you might have been down the line today, Glamour on the Grid, but
Glamour on the
didn't
grid,
get a start.
baby. Yeah, the influencers. You're pretty influenced. How many followers you got on Insta?
12 and a half, I think.
That should get you a start at Glamour on the Grid, I reckon.
Do you reckon?
I
I
reckon.
wonder what the cut-off would be. I don't have a blue tick or anything. That's probably the bare minimum.
You got to pay for those, don't you?
Flanners might be
Flanners. Can you imagine Flanners at Glamour on the Grid?
there. Yeah, wearing some sort of Swans jersey he hasn't washed in a couple of weeks or months.
Oh, all right. Let's get Eagle in before we get into the weekend. How are you, Eagle?
I'm very happy to be speaking my own accent
Yeah.
today.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of compliments I hear last week on the English show.
people actually said it wasn't too bad, except the only person that said it was really bad was my friend who was born in England, has English
probably
parents.
fair.
So
Yeah.
she's a harsh critic.
Yep.
Everyone else was kind of like,
Did all right.
it was all right.
Yeah, I thought it was good too.
You didn't get a start at Glamour on the Grid, pushing the boundaries of fashion this week again?
I know, seriously.
Yeah.
Like,
Get it down there. I didn't realise
is
the
it tonight?
shirt as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
neither.
As always.
As always, look
Yeah.
like
Signatures from the 90s.
looks like you could wear it to bed type stuff. Wears it in a Martin Place sometimes.
That's fair.
Everyone
Yeah,
else
I
is wearing
have
like
that.
sleek $2,000 suits. As Ella goes to take that swear word out.
Yeah.
And she's
A lot
wearing
on the
a-
cutting room floor already today.
Seriously, it's a top edit of today's one.
Yeah, and she's wearing a pajama top. So how was that?
It's not a pajama top, it's retro.
Let's start with
Pot calling the kettle black.
Let's
there.
start with Manly, shall we?
Woohoo!
Give me some insight. You're pretty quiet during the game on the text. We were just sending you.
My phone's off during games.
Is it actually off?
Yep.
Look, off.
Off.
Not silent.
No.
Not airplane mode.
No.
Off.
Off.
That's hectic.
Wow, that's old
I just
school.
don't want anyone disturbing me. I also want to save battery.
That's fair, because
So-
you had content to shoot
I had
immediately after,
content
didn't
to
you?
shoot.
Yeah.
So talk to me. How are you feeling when you're up 16-0 after 5 minutes?
Honestly, you know what the worst thing is? I still didn't trust us. I literally turned to my mum, even when we were up 30 whatever nil, and I said, I still can't trust this team because
Last year.
we've let a lead
Yeah.
of 36-0 go against the Cowboys at Brookie. So
Was that against Cows last year? Was that?
it
Cows?
wasn't.
No, I reckon it was the Warriors or
I
something.
think it was, but the year before we did it to the Cowboys. The
I
Cowboys
was literally
happened to
thinking when they
Brookie.
scored that when who caught it and then passed it.
Lehigh Hopewadi.
When Lehigh caught it and passed to was it Ben Turbo?
Yeah.
I was thinking of you because I was immediately thinking of you on the hill. I've heard you say so many times like, "Oh, we can't hold a lead. We can't hold a lead."
I know.
was like,
I've got trust issues, but no, happy to get a big win. We have to back it up. Like I'm obviously so pumped afterwards, but the consistency was our issue last year. So I just want to see us do that, or at least compete against a top side.
This week's fascinating. Like Warriors have heaps to prove. Interesting to see Team List. This is being filmed before Team List Tuesday.
Yeah.
Interesting to see whether Webster makes some changes.
I don't think it's that fascinating. I think you're going to smash them.
You reckon? I think so
We
too.
should. That's the thing. It's like we should, but then you know how every single season clubs seem to have a pattern. Like ours was obviously being flat track bullies for the past few years. I'm just
Yeah.
like, what type of team are we this year? Are
Yeah.
we like inconsistent? Because there was also games last year that we should have won against the Tigers, but we didn't.
We were all
So,
over you. We didn't give you the opportunity to
Tigers
win.
played pretty good that
No,
game.
they did. I'm saying ahead of the game, you look at that game and you think Manly should win this game and we didn't. Whereas
I
we
didn't
managed
do
to
that.
beat the Panthers, the Storm. Those are games we shouldn't. So I don't know. I just don't want to jinx
Well, you
it.
got a while before you get into that, and then you got a 5-week period where I think you play the Dragons twice, you play the Broncos and the Storm.
Yes.
Oh.
So like round 6 or 7 onwards, don't you?
We've got after this week, we've got 3 home games in a row. So it's just so important to get
Rigged.
to win
Rigged
those
draw.
3.
And I'm hearing you've dropped some pre-game superstitions.
Yeah, I'm really trying this year to get it into my brain that whatever jersey I wear doesn't impact my team's performance.
Yeah.
So I won in my maroon 87. We won in, that's what I wore last week. This week I am going to wear my 78 jersey because it's the away jersey. Whereas previous seasons, I would never do that.
And how do you respond to the allegations that you're a fake fan because you're not going to New Zealand and then you're not going to Perth in a couple of weeks?
Well, I felt so bad that I'm about to book North Queensland.
Oh, okay.
For the
Actually?
first time. Yep. Yeah, because that just for some reason those we've got Penrith at Combank, but our first 4 away games are New Zealand, Perth, Combank, and then North Queensland. So I was like, if I miss 3, I am a fake fan. So
Yep.
might be
I respect
getting
that.
up there for the first time, which will
Great.
tick off all regular stadiums
Yep.
in the NRL.
I'm hoping to get there 2 weeks after that for the Tigers. Cowboys one too.
Nice.
Yeah.
What are you going up for? With?
Mon.
Oh, really?
Around her birthday time, and her sister lives up
Where
there.
would you rather
How
be?
have you wrangled that as a birthday gift?
You're welcome.
Oh,
You're welcome, darling.
Oh, gee whiz. Some of the stuff she puts up with. Poor old Mon. Before we get into, I want to talk a bit of Tigers. I want to talk a bit more Manly. Just give a quick preview of what's coming up on the show. We've got the all-powerful Dan Gorringe coming on the show to talk. Bit of AFL preview, bit of... I'm hearing he's got some pretty strong opinions about what the score might be between Carlton and Richmond on Thursday night.
There's a man who'll be a glamour on the grid. I would have thought.
Oh, yes, glamour on the grid.
We'll ask
Written
him.
all over him.
Yep.
That's the kind of guy he is.
Gorringe on the grid.
Him and McClure are the two, like, if you put
McClure, you reckon, is getting a start there?
Mate, he got a start last year.
How?
And the year before. Sam, despite the hate from the public, Sam is like a bit of a mover and shaker down there, I would say.
Absolutely. No,
Yeah.
friend of the show. We've
Yeah.
I've worked with Sam in the past.
Yep. And then we'll also have, it's Formula 1 weekend in Melbourne.
Yep. Start your engines.
Start your engines, all right. Lewis Hamilton's first appearance in a Ferrari car, going to be a huge deal. Piastri, some chance of getting on a podium. That'd
Another
be a huge
Aussie,
deal.
I believe.
Mick Doohan's son is driving
What's
as well.
doing?
What's doing with Mick Doohan's son? He's a chance of being top 10, I reckon. So we're talking to the, again, all-powerful Ed Wyatt.
Yes.
Cannot
Will
wait to
he
speak
be
to
a
him.
glamour on the grid?
I don't reckon he
Not
will.
as if you're framing a market, Gorringe would be $1.20. Ed'd be
10 to 1.
350. Oh, 10 to 1, you reckon?
10 to 1.
That's a bit harsh.
Not his scene, I wouldn't say.
He dresses quite well.
He does, but
Certainly
it's just not
better than
his
you.
scene. No, it's on the improve. Got some new shorts on the way, actually. I'll show them to you in a couple of weeks'
Who
time.
bought those for you?
Yeah, well. The joys of having a girlfriend. You have a personal shopper sometimes. I pay for these things. But like I just don't go to my way. I don't go to my way to look for
Show us
for
your
these
bank.
things. I will.
Bank statement.
Yeah, show us your bank statements and
Show
a
us your
copy of
bank
today's newspaper.
Anyway, big shout out to Lewis for purchasing some fresh Venroy shorts. Excited for them to arrive.
Wears and buys the pants.
What else we got? Oh yeah, Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Was that the poo slinger of the season in round one?
Good to get it out of the way early.
Oh God, that was bad.
Bit clunky, but we'll get better from there.
What about people tipping them to make the 8? Can you believe people
What are you
tip?
looking at me like that for? You actually
can't
backed them
trust
head to head.
Round one.
I said, settle down. I'll just take a good first hit out.
There's a difference between banging them head to head and thinking they're going to make the 8. That team is not making the 8.
Yep. I don't know why you kept looking at me. I've been very measured. I said top 16, which I stand by. And I reckon about, if you listen to the Bloke preview show, about 11th or 12th is, I think, where they finished this year.
On the app, Hammy's Hub.
Hammy's Hub, head there, top 16. You can now multi that into your other futures multis.
They're $1.15 to make the top 16.
Well, if we lose this week, we might blow out a bit. Spoon Bowl rematch. But I'm confident of a good performance there.
I was doing radio with Vossi and Brandy yesterday, and they could not believe the Tigers are favourites this week.
Really?
Yeah.
I
They were saying it's
Tigers.
a pick 'em. They were saying it should be a coin flip.
Those blokes sound like they need a couple of HIAs, I reckon. We'll be right.
You
Yeah.
tell them that?
I'll tell them tomorrow.
Give us your thoughts. I know you did the pod. Go check out your, what's your pod?
Win, learn, or draw. Check
check
it
it
out.
out.
Very detailed preview there with Morty. We did that one yesterday. Feeling good. I thought the Eels looked terrible the other day as well. What I said on the show yesterday is if we play the same way we played last week and the Eels play the same way they played last week, we're going to win comfortably.
I think you got a bit more of a, stable.
We're more upside in us.
Yeah,
it was
I think
clunky.
so.
It was Jerome's first game that he'd played with the club. We're missing 2 of our regular spine.
Yep.
There's a few things against us there. Yeah, if you read the stats on paper, we missed 51 tackles. Terrible. But we still kept the team with Callum Palmer and Bradman Best to 10 points. So that demonstrates a bit of effort and a bit of scramble to me. So,
Okay.
there's something there. There's something to build off. I'm confident that it will get better. So I'm not too worried about this week. I think we win.
Can I give you a way too early season prediction?
Go on.
I know on the app you can go, it's again also under Hammy's Hub, you can find Storm, Panthers, Broncos.
Box A versus Box B. Now, this is Matty Johns requested this one.
Yes.
Storm, Broncos, Panthers, sitting in Box A.
Yep.
The Field, Box B.
To win the premiership.
Now, these guys over here, the 3 teams that he nominated, $1.55
Yep.
to win the comp. The other one's $2.65.
Yeah,
I
something
think.
like that, yeah.
Yeah, around that.
I don't mind it. I know Joel Kane's very keen on that.
Yep.
And I've watched both these teams play on the weekend very closely. Manly or the Bulldogs, one of them is making the grand final this year.
Yeah. I don't know.
Great call. Yeah, I knew you had a great rugby league mind.
Manly or the Bulldogs, one of them's making the 8 this year. I think.
Making
The 8 or the
8.
grand final?
Sorry, so making the grand final this year. They both make the 8, obviously.
Oh my God. If we make the grand final, like, I'm going to have to take 2 weeks leave.
I would rather, I was saying to Maddie in the green room before, the Broncos are $6. I think Manly are 12, the Dogs are 18 or something like that. I would much rather be on Manly and the Bulldogs than the Broncos
I just
at
like,
$6.
I think the Roosters are so bad. Like, the Broncos play great, 100%. But God, everyone's like, on, like,
Roosters could get the spoon.
they could.
That'd be great, wouldn't it?
And like I keep saying to everyone,
the silver
Manly
spoon.
in 2018, round 2, put 54-0 on the Eels. Everyone's like, wow, this team, incredible. We came second last, the Eels got the spoon.
Yep.
So you really can't trust these massive blowouts early on the season, except for Manly's massive blowout. Obviously, very
can trust
reflective
that.
on the season.
Yeah.
I think
You can
I
trust
thought
that.
the big step up for, and I'm keen to get your thoughts, Eagle, on Manly was their forwards.
100%.
Looked a lot, because sometimes that's been the knock on them. So you
Yep.
got a great back line, great halves. Can your forwards rip in and get going? I thought your front rowers, or your whole front row rotation, very, very solid.
They're so, like, the most frustrating thing about them is, like, they all have the capacity to have those incredible games. It's like, again, consistency. Paseka's had games like that over the past few seasons, but hasn't been able to have a whole season like that. Same as Sipley, etc. So I just hope finally, like, it has clicked in their heads.
All I need from the rugby league gods for that prediction to come true is a bit of fitness. Like if Turbo stays fit, I just think I know the Dogs let the Dragons in a little bit in the back half of that game. Man, they're impressive though. Like I think they switched off. Fair enough, round 1, but defensively, that's what we know. That's why Penrith have been so good for so long. They are going to be as good as Penrith defensively this year, I reckon. Yeah. And how good was the fella from the Chooks that scored a double?
Tupanua.
Gee, he was good off the bench too.
Yeah,
they just
Setili.
You hate to see it. You hate to say it. You hate to see it. But Gus has got that recruitment right, so spot on.
Yeah,
some of those Dogs players
nailed it.
And I really enjoy watching the Dogs too.
Yeah, they're at Belmore this Sunday as well.
Oh, it's so good out
Got
there.
the Titans.
You wouldn't see me dead out
there.
The
Toby Sexton Cup.
Toby Sexton Cup. Anyway, we'll get to that game later. Any Swans thoughts? Any Pies thoughts?
Look, Swans disappointing, but as I was saying, or to you earlier, I think don't want to peak too early like we did last year. So Hawks are a great team as well.
They look hungry.
A few teething issues, Coxie, did he get a few things not quite right potentially, but that's okay. We go again this week, and we'll probably beat Brisbane 40+, so that'll be good.
Pies, meanwhile, pack it up. Season's over.
Oh.
I'm not surprised he says that, to be honest.
Can't make the 8. Can't make the 8. Can't win the flag. All over after 1 week, I would say. So I don't. You know me. I don't overreact to things, but that's my stern prediction for Collingwood this year. That was diabolical on Sunday. I hope I'm wrong. I don't think I am. Not often that I am wrong.
You are regularly wrong. Disgraceful stuff from you, but I'm not surprised.
Why?
Because you're not a proper supporter of that team.
Are you distracted by something?
Yeah, I'm just trying to find some interesting audio here.
How about we put it in post?
Yeah, we'll do that.
We will put it in post.
And we'll let you be the judge.
Ready right
in
now.
The comments. It's going in now.
Collingwood fandom and being a neutral supporter.
What the actual?
Be a fan of the Australian Football League.
What is wrong with you? You actually have something wrong with you.
I don't have any. I picked them 15 years ago, right?
Oh my god, we should be recording this.
I'm not from there.
Far out.
I'm not from there. I go to maybe one Collingwood game a year now, maybe 2.
Are you like?
I'm just going to succeed and just be like when Hammy was his 2023 AFL.
Oh my god. You are actually insane.
So changing again to no one now.
No,
I'm thinking about it.
He's changing so you can have like.
I haven't confirmed yet. I haven't confirmed, but I'm thinking about it.
Oh, okay.
You are like.
It doesn't sit right with me right now. Something about it doesn't sit right with me.
But
Being a Pies fan.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Have you not learned from any of the just constant we've given you all year about changing your team?
How can you?
Have you not learned that I could care less what you guys think?
How can
That's
you
true.
go from winning a premiership last year to wanting to denounce your fandom?
I mean, just jaw-dropping stuff, Sam. How do you sleep at night? No wonder you put a line through him. You don't even support him.
Look, that was an emotional and raw chat. After it was,
You didn't sound that emotional.
I was pretty
It
raw.
wasn't emotional though, because
I was pretty dark in my head at the
emotional
time.
about what though? About Collingwood?
It was
Because you
about
weren't.
look. look, do you want to discuss it now?
Yeah, because you were
Let's discuss it.
just trying to be a
Let's discuss
bandwagoner
it.
for the Lions.
Let's
That's where the
discuss it.
emotion
No,
was.
there is a sense of like, well, you wouldn't experience this because Canberra haven't won anything. But if the Raiders won in 19, right, would you have felt a little bit of like, I was sort of like, that's where I'm from. I wish I was sort of part of that a little bit.
Yeah, certainly when they kind of got to the point, and I was like, how good's this? Canberra's up and about, you know?
See, that's how I felt.
But
That's
Hammy
what I'm-
would not denounce his Tigers fandom.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Well,
I would
I just
completely
felt a bit
change teams.
ashamed. I felt a bit ashamed, all right? So I thought maybe I need to denounce. It's been a long 6 months since then, and I'm going to stick with it. But of course I'm going to stick with
This
it.
is disgraceful.
No,
It
it's
is,
not.
and
It's you just said the same thing.
Clip this up and put,
Oh, it
put a
will
little
be.
thing. Is this acceptable or not? And we'll let the punters decide.
Yeah,
But
let the punters decide. But like, I'll put
think
my
I know
hand
what
up.
you're gonna say.
Hand is up. I felt a bit ashamed about not supporting the Lions when they, got to the pointy end last year. It just felt.
so you're a bandwagon.
It felt a bit
boys
raw. No,
supporter.
it's not a bit. It's just a raw and honest conversation. Wasn't aware I was being recorded. Thought I was having lunch with my friends. Clearly not. Clearly everything is content these days.
Yeah.
It was pretty good content, can't
It was
lie.
great stuff. It was great stuff. It's going to clip up beautifully. And let us know in the comments below. Is Sam a complete buffoon?
And who should he go for next?
Yeah.
All right, let's get into our feed punter of the week. Certainly wasn't me. I was paddling, just absolutely gasping for air on the
Paddles
weekend.
Phillips.
Actually. Paddles. So Dead set. Started calling me Paddles. That's how I was going on the weekend. Tell you who wasn't paddling.
Me.
C Petrie 8. Now he's only got about 3,500 followers, but how's this starting the NRL season in style? He jagged a $51.93 multi, and the beauty of this is he combined 3 games
I
together.
like that.
He
Keeps
just
you
found a
engaged,
couple of
though.
legs. Yeah, kept you engaged across the weekend.
Yep.
He started on Thursday, Jesse Arthurs, which we were sweating out. Was not an easy watch.
No.
And it ended up being for nothing anyways. But
He had Jesse Arthurs anytime into Shibasaki/Walsh to score. They both scored, so he got up there. He then rolled, that was $3.16. He rolled that into a $5.59 multi, which was Connor Tracy to score, and then Montoya or Crichton to score. Montoya scored.
He did. Good try.
And then he had that into a $2.94 multi in, I know a few punters had some big results on this Storm Eels game. He had Warbrick into Pappenhausen/Howarth to score.
Yep. They all scored, didn't they?
They all did, I think, yes. Anyway, that spat out at $51.93. Well done to C. Petrie. That's outstanding
C.
work.
Petrie. Yeah.
C. Petrie 8. He joins the Hall of Fame alongside Wazating and Snave.
Yep. Elite company.
Elite company. Wazating also jagged a 6-legger on the Storm Para game, I'm told.
Did
so
he?
he's just seen them like beach balls. That's got to be the tactic for punters out there at home. So I'm going to give you any advice. Look for those games with really big lines.
Yep.
Because like the Gillaroos, like Storm on the weekend, like the Broncos wasn't a massive line. But if you think there's going to be a points-a-thon, just get a few in there.
One potentially coming up in the AFL, the Carlton Richmond game this week could
We'll
be a good
speak
one
about
as well.
that to Dan, won't we?
Yep.
Because there's some angles there. That's where you're going to land these absolute monsters, I reckon.
Like it.
So shout out to C. Petrie. Well done to him. He had a fat weekend. Unfortunately, I did not. Let's get into some repercussions.
Let's do it.
I
You want
had
to kick us off, mate?
I had a complete strip out on the weekend, minus 10 units to me. So yeah, thanks a lot.
Give him a follow on the feed.
Got close on
What
a couple
not
of,
to do.
What not to do, yeah. Got close on a couple of same gamers. And look, if you want to go watch a horse race, it summed up my weekend on horse racing. Another wheel in the All-Star Mile. Dead Set nearly fell on its head and still managed to only get beat a length. So coulda, shoulda, woulda won. Jamie Mellum herself said after the race, if it didn't draw barrier 1, woulda won. Guess what? It did draw barrier 1, so it didn't win.
Yeah.
Duke Decessor I tipped as well at $5. It ran second by about this far. So just really enjoyable stuff for me. And then my same gamers didn't collect. So minus 19 overall for me for the season. Off to a hot start.
Good stuff, mate.
Yep.
Plenty more of that to come. Minus 19 overall. Lol. Bronx 13 plus. How about this
In a
bloke
queue.
coming in here going, oh, I like what I see from the Roosters. I think they're a bet this weekend. The Roosters look, away team at home that's, outsider.
Is that my voice, is it?
Yep.
so are you watching
That's exactly
Friday?
how he sounds.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly how he
Yep.
sounds. That's what he sounded like last week. Anyway, I took you on Broncos 13 plus, and I think it was my best of the week, and
Yep.
for a reason. That was way unders. It ended up being 46 plus or whatever.
Can I give you a text message I exchanged with the great Sean the Trader?
Go on.
He said to me before the game, I was sitting there at Allianz getting my bets on. He said, I had a good yarn today with the bloke I rate as the best judge around.
I don't recall talking to Sean.
We both like the Broncos long term, but we're both on the Chooks tonight. So, look, if I'm in good company there with Sean and one of the greatest judges around, that's fine by me.
Don't try and make
Who
this
is
a
the
Sean
greatest
issue.
judge?
Don't know, he wouldn't tell me. But you can't get him right all the time.
Don't try and make
Can't
this
get
a
him
Sean
right all
thing.
the time.
This is a you thing, and it didn't reflect well. I had a couple of misses. Herbie Farnworth in game 100. He got close. He got rid of the ball where he probably should have held it and he would have fallen over. So I missed out on 2 hits to him. The Swannies, I had them 1 to 39. Apart from the third quarter, they looked pretty ordinary. My 2 kind of big throws at the stumps with the NRL multis. I had a couple of my try scorers lobbed, but Samuel Lafanu missed out for me.
Yep. The one at 60s was 2 from 4, I reckon you were.
Yeah, it was. I started and ended well. Anyway, we go again this week. And then I had the Giants head to head as well.
Good betting, that one.
Which was sharp by me.
That was sharp.
Again, resting on the ever reliable outsiders at home theory.
Which you potted when I said that was my theory on Chooks.
Right, so everyone knows that only works in AFL, mate. So that was my week in a nutshell.
Yep.
Ella, over to you.
Yes, so my anytime try scorer multi also didn't hit. I had 3 out of the 6 try scorers hit. So not too bad.
That's a building block.
We'll build. Obviously, Manly 13 plus hit.
Right on.
Yay. So I got a unit there or whatever the math is. I don't really care.
Don't understand.
And then I just still cannot believe that my team puts 42 points
Yeah.
on and Lehigh and Turbo don't score.
Yeah.
Actually,
Turbo didn't really
insane.
look like scoring either, did he?
he just
set
was
them
like,
up.
he's just so selfless. He was just like, give it to someone else. He's like, I know I'm still going to get all 6 Dalian points. And also, like, big shout out to myself because I put on a random AFL multi. As we know, like, I'm new to the sport.
Yes.
And I hit 1, 2, 3, 4 legs, and all I missed out was on the Swans to win.
Oh, you
was
did
paying
too.
$10.
Yeah.
I did put it on my feed, so you can follow me there for
Yes.
some cheeky extra bets when
Yeah.
I want to. But yeah, that would have been really nice to brag about, but unfortunately didn't hit.
Yeah,
So
not terrible though.
No, not terrible at all.
Good
So
stuff. A good weekend from you. So you're actually leading. This
I am
season.
leading -0.67 overall.
Yes.
So which will obviously, when Manly 13 plus hits again this week, I should be in the green.
Okay. I'm really excited to see this Manly game this weekend, but we'll talk about it a bit later. For now, shall we get some AFL expertise into
That'd
the
be
mix?
fantastic, if
All
you
right.
wouldn't mind.
Let's get Dan Gorringe into the mix. We'll have a chat to him right now. All right, very special guest, recurring guest on the show. I think he's been on a couple of times before. We think this is really the start of the AFL season. Last weekend, what was that? Did Collingwood even play? Not 100% sure.
I think we should probably count those as pre-season games. And start the
Yeah, I
season
reckon
from
it's
this week.
pre-season. So this is the actual round 1. That's why we've got none other than the great Daniel Gorringe on the show.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Mate, great to be here. I've always said this. This is my favourite podcast that I'm on, so thank you for having me back, guys.
Yeah, well, definitely have to be in the top 20, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely top 20. Yeah, it would be top 50 even. I'd go that far. So no, it's good to be here, boys. Great to kick off the season last week. Sunday was probably. I got married in 2024, had Poppy in Jan, and then Sunday when Collingwood got done by 52 points. Best days of my life. So absolutely amazed and just so happy that the season's here. And it felt really good to kick things off.
I was literally sitting there on Sunday. You probably had a bit of this, not as, but like the Swans didn't get like pumped. But I was literally sitting there in the sun on Saturday when they started really kicking away in the fourth quarter, thinking, how was I excited for this feeling to come back? Like, why do I do this?
It's an AFL opening round tradition, mate. Collingwood go to the showground and they get absolutely hammered.
I'll say down on the record right now, I will never go back to the Sydney, whatever they're called, Sydney Showgrounds, NG Stadium. I will never be back at NG Stadium. You'll never see me there dead. Honestly.
Yeah, won't see me there. It's a horrible stadium. Nothing around it. I don't think there's any bars in it or outside of it. And you shouldn't be going back after the Pies dishing up there, mate.
No, it was honestly so bad. Anyway, I'm excited that they're back at the MCG and away from me.
Yeah.
So.
What have you made of opening round at large, Dan? Here to stay or where do you sit on it all?
Love of it. If anything, less games, I say. Just give us one and then just bait us with one and let it go. We'll have the rest of the week after. So, no, it's just horrible. There's enough noise around now. You guys have heard it. It's just having the Friday night game and then just being like, that was great. Let's have a day off and then have another game to kick it off. It didn't feel like a launch. It doesn't feel like it's a launch down here in Melbourne. Thursday night coming up, Richmond Tigers. It feels like we're kicking things off. So, yeah, it's got to go. Or if it doesn't go, then let's get all the teams involved because it's just an absolute circus of a round.
Yeah, I agree. Good to. I think it's time to just go. Let's just start everyone at the same time.
Yep.
And who better to kick off the season with than the cream of the crop, Richmond?
Yes.
Up against the Blues. How are you feeling about this game? We were discussing in the green room a little bit earlier that we think the line potentially, which is still 49.5, but it might be a little bit low. What do you make of this game?
Well, you're right. The line is outstanding. It's 49.5. You're taking that every day of the week. This thing could be 100 plus. I don't know. What's the opposite of shaking your boots?
Being comfortable in your Birkenstocks? Or something?
I'm so comfortable. I'm walking around in my boots, just so comfortable, even though they were on. So this thing on Thursday to kick the season off, Blues back in form. No Charlie Curnow. So if he plays, that's 100 points. He's on the team. Looking at 85 at least now. This will be an absolute bloodbath. I feel really bad for the 18-year-olds out there wearing black and yellow. It's an absolute cyclone and a storm coming for them.
Any concern at all that, yeah, as you mentioned, Charlie's not playing. Tom Lynch playing for the Tigers, hasn't played a heap of footy for them last year and they were terrible. Do you see any positives? Is there any way that Richmond win this game, or is it just a complete write-off?
Complete write-off. The only negative here for the Blues is injuries.
Yeah.
That's the only thing wrong here. It's actually going to be one of those ones where you want the boys to pull up after probably 15 minutes into the first and just say boys, like, they're going to keep playing this hard.
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to it, boys. It'll be great to see. I won't be going. I think it's one of those ones where you just watch it from the couch. You know what's going to happen. So, I can't wait. Can't wait to see the Blues get off on the right foot and just go to town on a bunch of 15-year-olds.
Yeah, in the highly unlikely event that Richmond do win, because they actually beat the Swans last year. Swans finished first,
That's right.
Richmond finished last.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the first time, certainly in a long time, that sort of thing has happened.
Yep.
Any big content plays kind of just in your back pocket there if things do go a bit pear-shaped, or are you not even thinking about that at the moment?
I'm not thinking about. Well, I will put something online for sure. I did somehow went down a bit of a rabbit hole on TikTok yesterday. It's gonna be a bit weird here, but I saw and discovered what a Prince Alfred was. So maybe that's in line. If the Blues do lose, I'll go into a piercing shop and get one of those. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Gee,
do you talk about a blue
massive
bagger?
call.
Yeah.
That is a massive call.
Goodness me.
Actually, I regret saying that.
Cut that out right now. That is an enormous call. All right, give us the same gamer for the Thursday night game. What do you like?
Well, I've gone. It's going to be all one-way traffic, so I've gone with just all Blues. Cripper to have 30,
Yep.
Walsh to have 25 or more, Akers 20 or more, Jesse Motlop to kick a goal, Harry Mackay kick 4.
4.
Carlton, 4. No Charlie, he just gets the forward line, stays deep. The ball's going to be coming in 80 times at least. And Carlton 40 plus in a big win.
What price does that spit out?
That's $8.
I love that.
That's not bad. We've both got one. Should we just run and by Dan to get his take on it?
You go first.
So I'm very aligned with you here, Dan. I've gone Carlton minus 49.5, Cripps 30 plus, Cripps goal as well.
Cripper goal, okay.
I think when you get a real Carlton domination, Cripps just does whatever he wants. I thought about even putting him in for 2, but I just went 1 goal and then Mackay for 3. That's getting 5.25. So that's actually my max bet this week, 3 units.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm Carlton minus 49.5, Mackay 3, Motlop anytime, Akers anytime. Bit more conservative. I'm having 2 units on at $4.33. What I will be doing privately is I'll be backing a bunch of blokes to kick 4 or 5. I think I'm not sure who.
Yeah.
But I think Motlop or Kemp or Harry, one of them will kick a big bag.
Yeah.
Just spread your bullets a little bit and enjoy the ride.
Are you happy with where we're sort of thinking there, Dan? Is that a line?
I am. Yeah, I think multiple goal kickers is definitely a play. Obviously, the forward line will get the most and the first crack at it. But anyone who's playing anyone but Jacob Waring is looking at 3+ goals. So you're pretty safe there if you have multiple goal kickers.
Could go the Swans route. Like, for some reason, Dean Cox thinks Tom McCartan's a forward now. Maybe they swing Wiedering forward just to boost his confidence.
Maybe.
Sam Taylor kicked one. He kicked the first goal against Collingwood on the weekend. That's how good Collingwood's going.
Yeah, they're outstanding, mate. Really good.
It's a year of the defender.
What about some sort of like futures bets, Dan? Is there any, like I'm assuming probably Carlton win the flag's probably going to feature somewhere in there, but anything in the premiership market or any other futures bets that you're considering?
Yeah, obviously I'm on the Blues to win the flag. They've got that at $10. And then I've got Blues in a Freo grand final, 36.80.
Oh.
Yeah, I do. I've also gone just really one to follow all year here. Rising star Levi Ashcroft.
Yep.
Ben King Coleman, Nick Dacos Brownlow. Now the cramping has hurt that price I got for Nick Dacos. just slightly. So there are concerns about the cramp. It's an ongoing thing. So that in a multi, I've got a little bit on that.
What does that roughly come in at? I don't know. It's probably quite dynamic, and maybe the cramping is probably impacting stuff there. But that for me on the surface sounds like it would be quite a big number.
Yeah, it's spitting out $445.50.
Okay, nice. Well, for the sake of my job, hopefully that doesn't get up because you've got quite a few followers on the feed, and
No. And just so I do have one more. I've got these teams to make the top 8. I've got 6 teams here, I think, as well, which is spitting at 130 here. So Giants to make it, Swans to make it. That's looking shaky now. Pies also shaky. Carlton, Freo, and the Suns to make the 8 for the first time as well. As I said, 2130.
Former Suns great predicts Suns success. First bit of success for the Suns ever.
Yes, we'll have to get Ella to clip that one up for us.
Yeah,
that might be the headline out of this week.
Yeah, I'm all about them as well. Love that club, love everything they've done for me, and vice versa I've done for them. So I think this is our year.
Yep, love it. You mentioned Carlton. You got them at $11. They're now into $9.75. So you've moved the market, Dan. You must be
right?
Pretty happy with that.
Before they even played the game.
Yeah.
I think. Look,
Here we go.
Let's go early. Let's go early. Hawthorn will be in a grand final this year.
You reckon?
No doubt about that after watching them on the weekend.
They're actually the favourite in that market, $3.10.
They're making a grand final this year. They are. They remind me of that hungry Collingwood of 2023. Geez, how good were those days when they just came out the year after a disappointing, not disappointing, but like a good run in 22, like close finals loss. They were the hot team. That's what they remind me of. They just looked like they cared more on the weekend than the Swans. Swans just, where were the Swans, mate?
Well, what we learned last year at the Sydney Swans is you don't win them in March,
true,
do you?
brother.
So we're going to build into the season this year and not hopefully fall apart in the grand final again.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else from Dan? Are we good? We good?
Anything you want to plug, mate? Anything coming up or anything like that? Or all good?
Going to Glam in the Grid on Wednesday. That'll be good. Get around the F1s.
Nice. Have you got your dress sorted?
I don't have the dress yet. More of a last minute kind of guy, so I'll get something. Starts at 6 tomorrow. I'll rock into an MJ Bale about 4:30. Pick someone up, which will be good. So.
And is Ollie your hot date for that one?
He's not. No, I'm taking my wife Anna, so she hasn't left little Poppy's side. So I thought, you know what, leave Poppy at home. Not alone.
I was going to say.
Advanced. She's advanced. She's not at that level. Just not for herself yet. So we'll go down there, mate, and check out the cars and see how they're shaping up for the weekend.
Love it. We've actually got coming up right after you've got Ed Wyatt to talk us through all things in the F1.
Yes.
So we'll report back to you, Dan. Give us a follow on the feed for the Feed Me Something page because we'll put a couple of Ed's F1 bets up there. So hopefully you can not only have a great time at Glamour on the Grid, but hopefully pick up a couple of winners there as well.
Done. All over it. I'll follow those ones.
All right. That'll do us. Thanks very much, Dan. Go the Baggers.
Thank you, gents.
Talk to you soon,
Appreciate
mate.
you. Go
Thanks for joining
Blues.
us.
See you soon.
Go Swans. Bye.
Big thank you to none other than Dan Gorringe. Dan does Footy fame.
Dan does Glamour on the Grid.
Dan does Glamour on the Grid. I reckon he's been like 3 or 4 years running now.
Yeah.
Since he hit the
well
big
earned.
time.
Well earned.
Yeah, he's big time.
Ollie will be spewing he didn't get the call up, but
Ahead of his wife, you reckon?
shout out to Anna.
I reckon Anna's just slightly higher in the pecking order.
Yeah.
Was slightly concerned to hear. I thought for a half a second there they were leaving their 6-month-old child at home.
Yeah.
But not
Get
to
home
I
with the
think it's
Muscle
actually
Chef,
3
Muscle
months.
Chef meal, bit of Simpsons on the couch. Be fine.
Muscle Chef. What would a 3-month-old get in a Muscle Chef packet? You reckon?
Chipotle chicken bowl, I reckon. Bulking, big protein.
You know what I saw the other day?
60 grams of protein in that. For those playing
The
at
child would barely weigh 60 grams. That's not true. DK Metcalf, Seattle Seahawks wide receiver. He's in the news at the moment. He's trying to get a trade. I think he's going to the Steelers. Anyway, I saw a story the other day that his dad had him lifting weights when he was 6 years old. And he's a monster. He's like 6'6", like 130 kilos of pure muscle. Well, I thought lifting, when I was in a teenager, I was told that lifting weights stunts your growth.
Yeah.
I've heard that as well.
I was of that opinion too, which is why Which is why I didn't touch him.
Well and truly pre-glove
just to be
days
safe.
for you, yeah.
Just to be safe.
Just
Didn't want to start that growth.
Stay away, please. And now, we should cut it in. That image of you, is that the best photo of you ever taken?
The Revel one. That was a great
I'll
shot
cut
by
it in.
Amy Bielski, friend of the show.
Oh, Amy took that?
Yeah. Great lighting down there at Revel Prem.
Was she like on the pro shot that day or like just on the iPhone?
No, they were doing
promo work.
some stuff for the.
That
And
the best
I reckon
photo?
that photo would have been probably responsible for anywhere between sort of 55 and 70 new members. I would have thought.
Why would someone sign up looking at that?
Why wouldn't you? If we've cut it in here, you tell me.
Do I have to draw you a diagram?
Yeah.
That's one of the few sayings I've stolen from you is do I have to draw you a diagram?
You've stolen so many.
What else have I stolen?
Just heaps.
Do I have to draw you a diagram? Strong stuff.
You love that on the feed, I've noticed. A lot of his feed bets. Do I have to draw you a diagram?
It's at least once a week. If you're not following us on the feed me something. We're I think at 1,400 followers now. Hasn't been a stack of winners on there recently.
I've got winners on mine.
You do on Ella Kazma.
Manly 13
and of course
plus.
Hammy.
Yep.
My feed profile's in the ether somewhere at the moment. We'll figure out where that's going to land, but hasn't arrived yet.
Yeah, no rush on yours, to be honest,
not that
mate.
you want to follow me right now.
All
I
the
wouldn't
last
follow
3
me.
seasons of this show. To be honest.
All right, let's get into some bets. We're going to start. We've obviously thrown our AFL bets in there already.
Yes.
For the Carlton Richmond game on Thursday. Already got some same game markets there. Now, these ones we're about to throw at you from the NRL.
Yep.
Unfortunately, as we prefaced earlier, we record this before Teamless Tuesday. And if there's no Teamless Tuesday, there's no try scorers on the Sportsbet app.
That's right. So it's very hard to know
Yes. What price these will
who's
be.
playing, what price they're going to be. And if they're over $100, we can't actually throw them up on the feed. So you are just going to have to jot them down because every chance a couple of them may go a little bit over.
They'll be on our Instagram, though.
Yeah, we'll clip
so
them up
you can
anyway.
check
They'll be there.
on our little
Fantastic
bets
point.
things.
Go follow us, feednation_SB.
Yep.
They'll be on their Instagram.
Yep. Who wants the new ball here?
Give it to Eagle, I reckon.
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
What do you got?
So I've just picked a few centres and wingers. You know, round 2, defence is still, attack can be a bit clunky. So I've just gone simple. Going Marju.
Yep.
Lehigh Hapawadi.
Yep.
Tongo, Sully, Stone Street, Cobbo, Taruva, Sherry. A few of them did not score last week, so I feel they're due after one game of football.
What price are we predicting that'll be?
Oh, you know me with my...
That's going to be like 300 to 1, maybe 400 to 1, I reckon.
Do you reckon?
No way. They're all
too big.
wingers and centres.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you guys don't understand the precipice of like...
You know, our maths isn't great.
Yeah. The fact that I have to do the units every week.
No, I reckon it'd be like... I don't know, but like...
Not that.
Not that. Less than 200.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see.
I'm a line. You want me to go?
Yeah, you go.
Jermaine Asako.
Yep.
I've got a lot of wingers in here as well. Saab. Tungo I've got as well. Tui Pilotu scored 3 the other day. Thought he looked good. Mulatalo up against the Cowboys.
Yep.
Selwyn Cobbo. Think he's going to score a lot of tries this year. Gerald Skelton for the Tigers. Montoya for the Dogs. We'll round that out for me. 1 unit on that for me as well. Price TBC. I reckon that's going to be close to $100.
I'm saying 200 for that.
You reckon?
I reckon 200.
Okay.
Just doing the math in my head. I think I actually really like that.
Thank you.
Some good options there. I'm going massive. If this wins, you probably won't see me on the show next week. I'll be off on holidays probably. I reckon Ponga, unfortunately, is going to carb the Dolphins up on Thursday night. So I'm having him in for a try. Turbo, stop passing the ball, brother. Just score a try yourself for the punters, please. I think Cleary's due for a try amongst many Panthers tries on Friday night against the Chooks. Val will score for the Dragons. I was on him last week. He's due. The Cowboys can't be as bad as they were last week against Manly. I think they're a bit shell-shocked. Back at home, I think Drinkwater gets over. Arthur's, selfishly, I've got him to be the top regular season try scorer at 100 to 1, so I'm going to throw him in for the Broncos. I think Skelton gets across. I really liking what I've seen from him for the Dogs. Also went to my former school, so always nice to cheer a fellow old boy on. And Connor Tracy, love this bloke. I've loved him since I first saw him play many years ago. I thought that was a natural-born footballer. Those boys together, I reckon you're going to get north of 1,000 to 1.
Really?
I reckon you will.
Really? Anyways, regardless.
We're trying to run a business here, mate.
Teamless Tuesday will be done by the time this is uploaded, so we'll have our bets on the feed and people can just go copy them straight from there. Make it easy for them.
The good news is, for anyone panicking from Sportsbet, Sam hasn't had a successful bet in some time, so don't panic too much.
Yeah, it's a good shout. All right. Hold on, I'm just reading an important Slack message. No, that's not required right now. All right, let's get into some other bets for the weekend.
Yep.
I've got two sort of very traditional. You know, the same game multi is the most frequented multi these days. Back in the day, if same game multis didn't exist, you used to have to old school pick a few teams you thought would win over the weekend. That's your sort of multi you'd work with. I'm going one in the NRL and in the AFL this week. Here's who I think win this week. I think the Knights win. I think Manly win. I think Panthers cover the 16.5. I think the Broncos win. I think the Bulldogs win. Those together spit out at $7.28. Maybe 2 units on there.
Yep. Okay.
And in the AFL, I think Carlton minus 49.5 is a bet all day. When the pick your own line comes out, I'll be having minus 99.5 because I think it could be 3 figures that game. Carlton minus 49.5. Hawthorn, love what I saw from them last week. And I think the Bulldogs will be too good for North. One unit.
Jeez, that's a bit of a coin toss, that last one.
You reckon?
They're a shambles, the Dogs.
They're better than North, though.
Two-time EJ Whitten mascot race winner, Woofer as well, former club legend. I'm really concerned what I see there at the club.
Okay, well, 1 unit at $3.46. Let's talk. I get it. Jamara that's a bit of a shit show at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
North and North, mate. They got more talent than North.
Caleb Daniel with a bit of an axe to grind against the old club.
Seriously, what are you talking about?
Your
what are you
bet.
talking about, hey?
Your bet.
Yeah,
Look, it should be okay, but there's a couple of question marks.
They don't need to cover. They just need to win. $1.25. I think they're at $1.35. So I'm having those two multis across the weekend. Really excited
All right.
to follow that. Hopefully, we just get through the first couple of games and then away we go.
All right. Happy with that. I've got a similar one. I've just gone across the NRL for this one. Manly minus 7.5 against the Warriors. I think they're going to be too good. Eagle, I like what I see from them. I think they're made of the right stuff to challenge for the top 4. Panthers 13 plus against the Chuggies. They'll probably win by more, but I just didn't want to get too carried away. And then I got the Sharkies to beat the Cowboys up there at North Queensland as well. I think the Cowboys.
You think shot, do you?
Yeah, I think they got issues, defensive issues. The Sharks, again, I think they're a top 4 quality side. So I'm having 3 units on that at $3.77. That's my little multi across the first couple of days of the weekend.
Cowboys just terrify me. Like, who knows what they'll...
Yeah, it's true. That's the question mark for me. But again, don't need them to win by too much. Just need them to win the Sharkies. And they're $1.40 shots at the moment.
Very good.
Yep.
I don't really see any major issues with that. I think Sharks are your risky leg. I think Manly's... again, who knows with Manly, though? You beat them there last year, I remember, though, didn't you?
We beat the Warriors, we beat them 13 plus. I think it was only by 14
over there
points
too,
or something. I'm
wasn't it?
pretty sure it was, yeah.
I remember watching it. I reckon you did beat them pretty well over there. So I think you can't, I like it. I think you'll get through the first 2 games and you'll be sweating them out the Cowboys games. Who knows?
And I'm happy with that. Let's get sweaty for the Cowboys game.
Let's get sweaty.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
What have you got, Eagle?
For Friday night, we have Manly 13 plus. What a shock. Obviously,
Let me get my jaw off the floor over here.
This is obviously the bet I'm doing the whole season, seeing what the profit's going to be by the end. We did include the 2 trial games, didn't we? Or are we not doing that?
No, we can include them.
Maybe we just
Okay,
don't.
we won't include them.
Okay, cool. So we're in the green for that at the moment. And that's paying $2.50 this week. And then I'm doubling down. I'm doing the exact same try scorer multi as I did last week because they are due. They're so due. So Turbo anytime, into Lehigh anytime, TBC for that price. But yes, I'd be shocked if at least one of them doesn't score, if not both. So
Nice
I like
one.
it.
I've got one. I had one more unit to play with, so I've thrown one in for Saturday, and it's in that Cowboys Sharkies game.
Yep.
See for Talakai, game number 100.
Oh, you love a Talakai.
I do love it, and interesting to see how they use him potentially off the bench. I think that's how they used him in Vegas. So there might be a decent price here. 1 unit on that. Again, we don't know. Haven't had the team list yet. 1 unit on Talakai to crash over.
Just before we leave and get into some F1, I've also just realised I've got a standalone bet on Friday night. I like taking this angle. It famously saved me from doing the Magic Round punishment last year. It's extending that line out a little bit if you think there's going to be an absolute shellacking. I'm having 3 units on Panthers minus 29.5, so to win by 30 or more at $3.45 against the Chooks on Friday night. Now tell me this, how are the Chooks going to score points against Penrith if they couldn't score against Brisbane the other night? How are they going to do it?
Don't know.
I think Panthers could hold them to 0.
Yeah?
I think you
Maybe
can bet
that could be the bet.
I think you can bet that, Mark.
You can.
Yeah.
I'll have a look.
Have a look. I don't know if it'll be up now though, potentially, but
It could be. I don't know.
have a look. But I think they could hold them to 0. It's a tough one to land because all you need is one, unlucky moment or one bad read and they're in. But
Or a penalty goal.
oh yeah, penalty goal too. Trialists. I'd like to see trialists potentially. Anyway, I think Panthers will absolutely thump them. I think Panthers seem to be, well, based on the Vegas game, they're in better early season nick than they were the last couple of years. And I think that's a bit of a surprise. The Chooks look like they've got a lot to figure out. Chad Townsend, boy oh boy.
So you can bet on the exact total points. So you can bet on the Roosters to score 0 points and it's paying $14. But
Wow.
if you liked the chances of them getting an early penalty goal, 2 points is paying $67.
I kind of think if you're them and you're paying the Penrith, you almost can't take the 2 early, can you? Like, you don't think you're seriously going to be
defend him out.
Yeah, it's going to be like a 10-8 slugfest, isn't it, probably. So,
Well, not with that attitude. Anyway.
no, not with that attitude. All right, that's lots of footy bets across both codes. Really excited to watch. So good to have all this footy on at the moment. I'm so happy to have it back. But it'll be a 2-screen job on Sunday because the F1's on.
Yep.
Well, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm more just a Sunday F1 guy.
Yep.
And the man to talk us through some. The man to talk us through some Formula One action is none other than Ed Wyatt. Let's have a chat to him now. All right, very special guest joining us, our resident Formula One expert. The F1 is in town, Albert Park. How big of a deal is it? It's massive here now in Australia, isn't it?
Yep. Start your engines. You're still a little bit upset for not getting a start on Glamour on the Grid, but I did tell you dressing like that was going to come back to bite you eventually. And
it's the ultimate like influencer event now, isn't it? Glamour on the Grid. It's like if you're an influencer in Australia, you don't get a start. Like you got to start working harder.
Yeah, legit. Everyone's there. You know, you get your Marmalade guys, all those guys get a start.
Let's get Ed Wyatt into the studio. How good to have Ed on the show.
Welcome, Ed. Now, I was just going to ask Ed off the bat, will you be at Glamour on the Grid on Wednesday night or whenever it's...
I will not be at Glamour on the Grid, unfortunately, but you're absolutely right. Huge event, pushing 500,000 people across the 4 days, which is pretty remarkable. Going to be interesting this year, guys, with the weather. It looks like it's going to be really hot. So that's going to be a very interesting scenario. And it is the first Grand Prix of the year. Now, this has happened before. The last couple of years, it's been the third race on the calendar. So from a betting perspective, it's maybe a little bit tricky, but also maybe a little bit exciting because you're not really sure what's going to happen.
Good to have it back at the start. It feels like it's where it belongs. It was a bit lost, I think, at sort of third. But it got there because of COVID, is that right? That it got shifted off the traditional places as opening the batting head? Is that why it lost?
I think, well, it was after the 2 years where we didn't have it that it moved it. It is in the contract. It is, I'm not sure the details of it, but it does get to be the first Grand Prix of the year according to the contract a certain number of times. I think like 20 of 27 times it's been the first race of the year, something like that.
Yeah. But you're going to be there across a couple of the days as well, Ed?
I will definitely be there. I try to go every year as much as I can and just sort of take it all in. And it's a great event. It's become an amazing event, similar to the tennis. Just the way they've built it into an event, not just a sporting event, is pretty special.
Yeah. Now, there's a couple, I'm led to believe, correct me if I'm wrong, there's actually a couple of Aussies. We know about Piastri, but are there more than one, lining up in this race? Am I correct in saying that?
You are correct. Jack Doohan, who's the son of Mick Doohan, obviously legendary motorbike world champion. Jack is driving for Alpine. He was the reserve driver last year when Esteban Ocon moved. They gave him the seat. They gave it to him pretty early. So there is a little bit of pressure, guys, something to look out for here. Their third driver at Alpine is a kid named Gabriel Bortoleto, or Franco Colapinto. Sorry, got the wrong rookie driver. Franco Colapinto. And he was really good last year. So there's already some rumblings that if Doohan doesn't do well in the first 4 or 5 races, Colapinto could move in. So that's just something to keep an eye on. Hopefully not.
Yeah.
And this will also, correct me if I'm wrong, is this the first Lewis Hamilton Ferrari drive we'll see?
Yeah, unbelievable. Lewis Hamilton, 7-time world champion, moving from Mercedes to Ferrari last year. This will be the very first time, other than, practice sessions, that we see him in red in a Ferrari. And if you can imagine what Lygon Street would be like if somehow Lewis can manage to win this race. If you're not a Ferrari fan, I would steer clear of that district here in Melbourne because it is going to be madness if that happens.
Is he any chance this weekend, or is it a bit too far away at this point for Ferrari? And
he's paying $750, about the same as Piastri. The favorite is Lando Norris, McLaren, and followed by Charles Leclerc and then Max Verstappen. But again, it's that unknown. You're just not sure what the cars are going to do, right? McLaren was clearly the best car last year. Ferrari probably the second best, and then Red Bull was dropping a little bit. But depending on how much work they did over the off season, you're just not sure if it's going to be the same situation. But I would bet that McLaren and Ferrari are probably the two fastest out out of the gate. That would be my guess.
Do we have any do you get a pre-season look at these cars to figure that sort of thing out? Or is it the kind of thing where you actually might find a bit of value in the market because there might be someone outside of that clear top 2 from last year who might be able to figure and improve this year sort of out of sight?
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think that there was testing in Bahrain, and the trouble with that is you're just not sure what they're going for in the testing. Are they doing actual lap? Some were doing actually race simulations? Some were just getting the drivers used to the new car. So you're just really not sure what to make of that. I watched those sessions. I got to tell you, it's not exactly riveting television. So 6 hours watching cars testing, but it is interesting. And I think a great example of this would be Carlos Sainz, who won last year in Melbourne for Ferrari. He's now at Williams. So there's a real expectation that Williams is going to be a little bit better this year. Now, I don't think it's going to happen overnight, but I think that's one to maybe look at. Will Williams be a big improver going into this season?
What about across this weekend, Ed? Are there any kind of bets that have caught your eye or any markets that you're having a look at to find an angle across the weekend?
Couple of things. I think we talked about this, Hammy. I think Oscar Piastri to podium is paying it currently $235.
Yeah,
so
love it.
No Australian has finished on the podium at this home Grand Prix.
Okay.
Mark Webber finished 4th in 2012. Ricardo 4th in, I think, 16 and 18. So that would be incredible. He finished 4th here last year. He's 4th in the drivers' standings last year. He's got a legitimate chance to get on the podium if that McLaren is the same car or similar to last year. So that's a bet I like. The other one is Leclerc to podium, $1.90. He's won the race a couple of years ago. Ferrari's won 2 of the past 3 races here. Leclerc is a really good driver. He's going to be inspired, I think, a bit by having Hamilton come in and challenge him a bit. So that's the other one I like. And then the other one is the team of winning drivers. So you can take McLaren or Ferrari to win. I think McLaren's 212 and Ferrari's 285. So if either driver for either team wins the race, you win that bet. So probably the only way that gets screwed up is if Max Verstappen comes out and wins the race. But I like that too. Pick your favorite, whether it's McLaren or Ferrari, team of winning driver bet. I think that's a solid one as well.
I like that one. Verstappen, correct me if I'm wrong, he was the favourite last year and he didn't finish the race from memory. Is that right?
He had a brake problem. Yeah, they whole blew out the back and there was a bit of fire. He didn't finish. And the Red Bull struggled last year, guys. They kind of limped to the finish line. Max was incredible. The driver that he is was able to pull some results out of the hat that another driver wouldn't have been able to do. So I think you never know with him and Red Bull, but I think probably the McLaren and Ferrari the way to go. And one other little one to mention to keep looking going forward, fastest lap betting. For the last few years, they've given a point for fastest lap. So it became a tactical thing. A driver that wasn't going to win would stop, pit, get fresh tires, and then win fastest lap. That's out. They're not giving a point for fastest lap anymore. So I actually think now, after a couple of races, you get the feeling that, as stupid as it sounds, the best driver on the day probably will win fastest lap. So that's one to keep an eye on. It's a very different proposition now without that point.
I really like the driver of winning teams. You get Leclerc and Hamilton.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I think I'm going to.
You got a bit more skin. If you have a Verstappen style blowout like last year, you're still in it, which is nice. That's a good way to kind of bet on it. I like that. And I also like that Piastri angle. I'm on board that. I've got it in as one of my bets this week as well for him to podium.
Podium?
Yeah.
What price?
233.
Okay.
235.
As we were saying earlier, race one can be a very unpredictable beast. I know he didn't do that well last year. There's a bit of pressure on him, but I like doing just a cheer in Australian, doing to be top 10. You might get a couple of brake failures, you might have a crash or two, and he sneaks into that 9th, 10th, 450, having a unit on that as well. So I'll cheer at Piastri, but I'll also be cheering doing to be top 10. And the beauty of that is, give you something to cheer. When you're as a casual F1 viewer, I might have it on Sunday night sometimes, and they're showing you like 11th v 12th. I'm like, not really into this. I'll be into it now.
Now you are.
Now I am. So I like going to be top 10. So that's what I'll be playing on Sunday. Can't wait. Actually, this has got me very excited to watch.
Yes, thank you, Ed, for the little tips and the little angles there. I think there's some good stuff there that we can all take away from there.
I think it'll be exciting. It'll be a great race. And if Piastri can do that, it just will be remarkable. The place will go nuts.
When's the last time an Aussie had a podium finish.
Were you listening? We haven't had one in Australia.
Yeah,
Oh,
haven't
sorry.
had one.
Earth
Haven't
to
had
Sammy.
one. Ford was the best.
Sorry about him, Ed.
Sorry,
I was listening.
There's a bit going
I've
on.
had a couple
There's a bit going on
Fords.
my phone over there, so I just tuned out for a bit. All right, I think that'll do us. Thanks very much, Ed, for joining us. Looking forward to it on the weekend, and go Piastri.
Yeah,
Go
all the
Dylan.
best
Thanks,
out there,
guys.
Ed. And look, fingers crossed you get that invite to Glamour on the Grid next year.
Yeah.
I'll see you there, Sam White. Thank you.
See you, mate. All right, big thanks to Ed. Keen to cheer some Aussies on. Looking forward to Lewis's debut in the Ferrari Red. Stay away from Lygon Street. He reckons unless you're wearing that shirt, you'll be welcome.
That's right, Ferrari.
Is it,
Can't wait to see him.
No chance Glamour on the Grid for you?
Remarkably, no, not this year. I've got to invest in that blue tick like Funners. Maybe next year I'll be down there.
I can't wait to see that. I would love to
If I
see
get a
that.
+1, I'll do my best to invite you, but you're going to need to lift the.
How would you
game.
go? How would you go explaining that to Mon?
Glamour on the Grid.
That you're taking me instead of Mon?
I said we need it for content purposes, but I'd say to Mon, look, don't get too upset because Sam probably won't be allowed to go due to his fashion sense anyway. So you have every chance. Just to
I
come.
don't. What is wrong with what I'm wearing today? Just a.
How much of it did you buy yourself?
That's the problem.
Apart from the sports bet hat.
I was with Lucy when I purchased this,
Okay.
but at an op shop, so it wasn't like
An op shop.
it was an op shop in Manly. And
Go
I've had
Manly.
these shorts for a while.
Go, man.
Go Manly. All right, more than enough Manly.
What a
talk.
note to end on.
What a note to end. Go Manly. Go Oscar
Whoa.
Piastri. Who else? Go the Pies this weekend. Season's not over, boys. Don't listen to the haters.
Go Pies.
And we'll.
You don't go for the Pies.
We'll see you next week.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.